A lot of Joestars not only have to face the challenge of knowing that they'll inevitably go on a bizarre adventure by the age of like 18, 19, 17, maybe even 16 or 15, but they also face the impending knowing that their parents are probably going to be some shit. I had asked this question on my TikTok a little bit ago, and I was thinking about it, just how many Joestars have bad parents, and the answer kind of shocked me. Once I decided in my mind, it's a very good amount of them. Now, in my classification of bad parents, they have to be ones where one parent is bad. If one parent is good, like for example Josuke or Jotaro, that's fine, but then I'm just going to talk about their fathers, where Jotaro, his father, we don't know anything about him, but he's just not around during, part 3 because he's on tour. That's what we know. And we already know about Josuke's father and that whole situation, and how Joseph is a very bad parent to Josuke. You can give him the excuse, oh well, he never knew that Josuke existed. Well, that's fucking tough. He should have never slept with a 22-year-old. And not only that, leaving that 22-year-old with attachment issues all the way even till part 4, when she saw Jotaro and thought that was Joseph. She had attachment issues. That was just it, and he left her with them. But really, this idea kind of stems from Johnny and Giorno, because those two have, out of the 9 Joestars we got, they might have the worst parents. Not might. They definitely do. Now that I'm thinking about it more, they definitely do. Hell, we can even talk about JoJo's dad, which, spoiler alert for part 9, but his dad literally up and left his family when this nigga was 12. Bro was 11. Now, granted, it indirectly was JoJo's fault, but no kid should ever be at fault for their parent leaving them and their entire family. Someone like Joestar, he wasn't that bad, and the reason I say that is, yes, he made very stupid choices, like favoring Dio over his own son, but then before he died, he explained why he did that. And even though the explanation was, it makes sense, Dio he felt Dio needed more attention because he grew up in the slums and he had a very hard life, and his father was not a good person, something that George knew. He knew that. That's why he took Dio in. But even still, he was a decent father to Jonathan. I can't say too much about him. Jonathan lived a good life, even though Dio tried to fuck with him at the start. Then after that, they kept their distance. Now back to Giorno. I'm not going to talk about Joseph's parents because, again, both his parents were, well, we know both his parents were good people, at least, and we know that both of them, they weren't in his life for realistic. It makes sense why they weren't in his life. Lisa's on the run. She cannot take care of him. Perfect. His father died. He obviously can't take care of him. But when we talk about someone like Giorno had a evil father, one of the evilest fathers of all time, and then he also had a bad mom. And the only reason I call Dio an evil father is just because he's pure evil, not because he's a bad father. But you can probably say he is. Nah, you can definitely say he is. Giorno was born while Dio was alive. Dio could have went and saw Giorno. He didn't, but his mom would deadass leave this few-month-old baby in the crib and go out and party. He would be crying till the morning comes and no one would be there. So he just eventually stopped crying. He literally said he stopped crying, or the narrator said. And then his stepdad would beat this man for looking at him weird. He would beat him for just existing. Shit. He had to, and mind you, his abuse, the childhood abuse, stopped when he was 5, and he was lucky because he literally found that mafia member. If he didn't, he would still be catching beans all the way up until he developed a stand and he probably tweaked out and killed his stepdad. And Johnny's father, he was a bad dad all the way until the end. Over the years, I feel like the ending scene has grown on me just a little bit, but even then it's just you still kind of suck, nigga. In your son's lowest point of his life, after he got shot, after he lost all of his money, his fame, his future, you didn't even call or visit. Didn't even call or visit him in the hospital. Didn't do nothing. This is after you told him to never come back. You're not welcome here, and told him God should have took him instead. You're an awful dad. That little show, I'm sorry, that little show wasn't enough. It was like, it's enough to some people, it wasn't enough to me. And then there was only two more, which is Jolyne and Josuke, guys. So now part 8 Josuke, one half of him had a good mother. I can't remember. Oh yeah, and a good father, I'm pretty sure. One half. The other half of him, Josuke, had a fucking shitty life. Or not shitty, we don't know completely how his mother is, but we do know that his mother was so unattentive of him when he was a child that she let this man drown on the beach. And it literally took Yoshikage Akira using Killer Queen to blow up the blood clot in his blood to save him. Without that, that man would have been cooked. And then Jolyne, her mom was great. She literally loves her mom. Her mom's the only one who calls her JoJo. I still remember that scene. But her dad, she of course loves him throughout all of part 6, but it's just the relationship is so strained and complicated because Jotaro never really explained, hey, I got this like invisible ghost you can't see, and it attracts other evil people to me, so I can't really be around you all the time. And instead he just thought that dipping would be the best solution for some reason. You know, he probably would have had a better chance just explaining something before she turned 19. Instead, he kept her in the dark, and we see her in the Stone Ocean prison where when he tries to be a real good father and play father, she calls him out on it, and he's visibly confused because he's like, oh, I thought you would be chill about this, you know, I my bad. I don't know, I just feel like childhood trauma and like childhood neglect, it's like character building for most of the Joestars, you know what I mean? It's character building. They're trying to build their strength up or something. It's building their XP for when they turn 16 and they finally fully awaken their stand or something like that, you know. But it's still awful. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You know, we're on the road to 5K, so anything helps. And until next time, peace.